Physio-Control is pleased to present the following in-service video on the care and maintenance of nickel-cadmium or NiCad batteries and the Physio-Control battery support system. NiCad batteries are the only source of power for some defibrillators like the LifePak 5 defibrillator monitor. Thus, proper battery maintenance is essential. The purpose of this video is to reinforce what you already know about NiCad battery care and maintenance and to answer questions you may have. We'll also discuss how the battery support system can assist you with NiCad battery care and maintenance. Let's check your working knowledge of NiCad batteries. We'll ask 5 questions related to proper battery care and maintenance. As the questions are presented, jot down your answers on a piece of paper. Question 1. List 3 factors that can lower the performance of the NiCad battery. Question 2. What is the difference between the FASTPAK battery and the standard battery pack? Question 3. How often should a NiCad battery be reconditioned, and how many discharge-charge cycles does this take? Question 4. Is it necessary to begin a reconditioning procedure and a shelf life test with a fully charged battery? Question 5. What is the benefit of performing the shelf life test? The information necessary to answer the questions correctly is presented in this in-service video, and the answers are summarized at the end of the video. As you watch, you can compare your answers to the answers presented. As with all batteries, good NiCad battery performance is dependent upon proper care and maintenance. Failure to read and follow battery maintenance instructions may result in premature power failure during patient care. Always carry fully charged extra batteries for prompt replacement of a depleted battery. To assure continuous power to the defibrillator or monitor and to avoid battery damage, promptly replace a battery when the low battery indicator begins to flash and before it stops flashing. Remember, a defibrillator and monitor may have 2 separate low battery indicators. Label each FASTPAK or standard battery pack with a unique ID number so that it can be easily tracked through all maintenance and rotation activities. Rotate your FASTPAKs or standard battery packs to ensure equal use of all batteries in active service. The Physio-Control battery support system plays an important role in the proper care and maintenance of Physio-Control NiCad batteries. Operate the battery support system in a well-ventilated area. Avoid places where extreme temperatures can occur, such as in direct sunlight or near an air conditioner or heater. Clean the battery support system test plate surface with a sponge or cloth dampened with mild soap and water. Do not use alcohol or acetone, as these may damage the device. Do not immerse the battery support system in water or other fluids. Doing so may damage the device and will create risk of fire or electrical shock. The battery support system should not be used in oxygen-enriched environments or in the presence of flammable agents or anesthetics. Such use creates a risk of fire or explosion. Physio-Control recommends that you use only the battery support system for the care and maintenance of Physio-Control NiCad batteries. Do not substitute other manufacturers' batteries or chargers. Physio-Control has no information regarding the performance or effectiveness of its defibrillator monitors when used with batteries or chargers from other sources. We also recommend that you use the battery support system for battery maintenance tasks instead of Physio-Control's older 2-well standard battery charger. The older 2-well charger by itself does not perform all tests required to properly evaluate battery performance. A note of caution: the FASTPAK battery is specifically designed for rapid charging in the battery support system. Use with other chargers Including Physio-Control's standard or basic battery charger may significantly reduce battery life and creates a risk of fire or explosion. The rechargeable NiCad battery is a rugged and lightweight source of power. Physio-Control has two types of NiCad batteries: the FASTPAK fast charging batteries and the standard slower charging battery pack. FASTPAK batteries are available in two different case designs. The only difference between the FASTPAK and the LifePak 5 FASTPAK is the wording and color on the lids. They operate exactly the same and are interchangeable. There is a difference between the FASTPAK and the standard battery pack. The difference is the charge time in the battery support system. The FASTPAK battery can be charged in approximately 70 minutes. The standard battery pack can be charged in approximately 4.5 hours. Both the FASTPAK and standard battery pack can be charged and reconditioned in the battery support system without damage. It's important to know the factors affecting NiCad battery performance and which factors cause permanent damage to the battery. Charging a battery in hot or cold temperature extremes will rob a battery of its full capacity and will lead to irreversible cell damage within the battery. Voltage depression is a condition that causes a reduction in battery capacity. This condition is often mistakenly called memory. A battery affected by voltage depression will not perform normally. It may cause the low battery indicator light to flash prematurely, and it may result in apparent power failure during patient care. Voltage depression is caused by, first, repeatedly attempting to add more charge to or top off a fully charged or nearly fully charged battery, and secondly, charging at temperatures above the recommended 78 degrees Fahrenheit. Because the battery support system is a smart charger, it is not necessary to top off a charged battery. Leaving a charged battery in the battery support system will not create voltage depression. Like many batteries, a NiCad battery will self-discharge when not in use. A new NiCad battery will self-discharge approximately 1% of its capacity per day when stored at room temperature. In 10 days, a new NiCad battery not in use will lose about 10% of its capacity. The actual battery self-discharge rate depends on battery age, temperature, frequency of use, length of time in storage, and overall battery condition. The discharge rate increases as the battery gets older. An older battery stored in hot temperatures may have an accelerated self-discharge rate greater than 1% per day. We'll now cover specific care and maintenance instructions for Physio-Control NiCad batteries in the battery support system. These instructions detail how to avoid the negative effects of the three factors just mentioned. Failure to follow these battery care and maintenance instructions may result in premature power failure in a monitor or defibrillator during patient care. The ideal charging temperature for a NiCad battery is room temperature, or 68 to 78 degrees Fahrenheit. Batteries charged outside this temperature range may not reach full capacity even if the charging time is increased. The battery support system should not be located in direct sunlight or near a heat source or an air conditioner. The best location for the battery support system is a well-ventilated area at a comfortable room temperature out of direct sunlight. When you receive a new battery, immediately label it with a unique identification number for easy logging of maintenance and rotation activities. Because all NiCad batteries self-discharge, do not assume that a new battery arrives fully charged. It's important that you always recondition a battery when it arrives, and in a few moments we'll show you how to do a reconditioning procedure. After reconditioning a new battery, the operator has two choices. Either place the battery into active service or into storage. If a battery is not placed in active service, it can be stored in the battery support system at room temperature or stored on a shelf in temperatures between 40 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Avoid freezing a battery. Storing a NiCad battery in cooler temperatures but still above 40 degrees Fahrenheit reduces the battery's self-discharge rate. Physio-Control recommends charging a stored battery before returning it to active service. Failure to charge a stored battery before returning it to active service may result in premature power failure of the monitor or defibrillator during patient care. The battery support system has 3 battery wells capable of independently charging a battery. Note that the far right battery well also functions as a battery discharger. To begin a charge cycle, install a battery into the battery support system. First, lower the battery into one of the 3 wells, as you see here, with the end of the battery opposite the clip facing downward. To prevent damage to battery posts, press on the top of the battery until a click is heard. Do not drop the battery into the well. The charge indicator will light to confirm the battery is charging. When the battery is charged, the ready indicator will glow steadily. The battery is then ready for use. If a faulty battery cell is detected by the battery support system, the faulty indicator will glow steadily. Faulty batteries must never be used. To discharge a battery, begin by placing it in the far right battery well. Then follow the steps outlined for charging a battery. Once the ready indicator is on, touch the Discharge Charge control to activate the discharge cycle. The yellow Discharge Charge indicator will glow steadily until the discharge is complete and will flash while the battery automatically begins a charge cycle. When the battery is fully charged, the ready indicator will glow steadily. The battery capacity is displayed. Battery capacity is displayed as a percentage and indicates the amount of capacity removed or drained off during the discharge cycle. This capacity is calculated from the amount of time it takes to discharge an average, new, fully charged battery. Because the circuitry of the battery support system compares a battery's actual discharge time with a known average discharge time, a reading in excess of 100% is possible. Reconditioning a battery helps prevent voltage depression and helps you keep track of battery capacity. As stated before, it's important that you always recondition a battery when it arrives. It's also important that each battery be reconditioned every 3 months or once a quarter as a part of proper battery maintenance. Start the reconditioning process by fully charging the battery. Next, perform 2 discharge charge cycles. Remove the battery from the battery support system and let the battery rest for 1 to 4 hours at room temperature. Perform a 3rd discharge charge cycle and note battery capacity. 80% or greater is acceptable. Less than 80% is not acceptable. Remove the battery from active service and discard in an environmentally safe manner. Complete the reconditioning procedure by documenting reconditioning date and the battery capacity obtained on the battery label. The shelf life test evaluates a battery's self-discharge rate. Check the battery's self-discharge rate every 6 months to identify a battery with an excessive self-discharge rate. Remember, normal self-discharge for a new battery is approximately 1% per day. As you'll see, the initial steps in the shelf life test are identical to the reconditioning procedure. This means that when you complete a shelf life test every 6 months, you will not need to complete a separate quarterly reconditioning procedure. Start the shelf life test by fully charging the battery. Perform 2 consecutive discharge charge cycles. Remove the battery from the battery support system and let the battery rest for 1 to 4 hours at room temperature. Perform a 3rd discharge charge cycle and document the battery capacity on the battery label. Note this satisfies the quarterly reconditioning procedure. The next step in the shelf life test is to store the battery on a shelf for 7 to 8 days at room temperature. After 7 to 8 days, discharge the battery. This is the only time a battery is discharged before going through a normal charge cycle. Note the battery capacity results after this final discharge charge cycle. The rate of self-discharge can now be determined by subtracting this value from the previous week's value. A difference of 20 or less is an acceptable self-discharge rate. A difference of 21 or more is unacceptable. Remove the battery from active service and discard in an environmentally safe manner. If properly maintained, a NiCad battery will generally last 2 years. However, age is not the only reason for discarding a battery. Remove a battery from active service and discard when one of the following situations occurs. First, the reconditioning procedure shows battery capacity at less than 80%. Second, the shelf life test shows a battery capacity difference of 21 or more. Third, the battery case is physically damaged. Or fourth, if a faulty battery is detected by the battery support system. When NiCad batteries need to be discarded, please recycle them according to national, state, or local regulations. If it's not possible to recycle batteries locally, return them to Physio Control. To obtain a special shipping container, call Physio Control at 1-800-442-1142 and ask for the supplies and parts line. The battery support system can also be used to test delivered energy from a defibrillator. To measure the output energy, select the desired energy test level by pressing either test load indicator on the control panel. Make sure the defibrillator paddles are free of electrode gel. As seen here, position the defibrillator paddles so that the apex paddle is centered on the right test load plate and the sternum paddle is centered on the left test load plate. Charge the defibrillator to the delivered energy test level displayed on the battery support system control panel. Apply firm pressure with both paddles on the test load plates. Discharge the defibrillator by pushing both paddle discharge buttons simultaneously. If the delivered energy is within plus or minus 10% of the selected level will be displayed. If the delivered energy is outside the plus or minus 10% of the selected level, the actual value will be displayed. If this occurs, remove the unit from service and notify the proper authorities in your department so that a qualified service technician can be called. Now let's review the answers to the questions presented at the beginning of this video. List 3 factors that can lower the performance of the NiCad battery. The 3 factors are temperature, voltage depression, and self-discharge rate. What is the difference between the FASTPAK battery and the standard battery pack? The difference is the charge time in the battery support system. The FASTPAK battery is designed to be charged in approximately 70 minutes. The standard battery pack is designed for charging times of approximately 4.5 hours. Remember, a FASTPAK battery is designed for rapid charging in the battery support system. Do not use the 2-well standard charger. How often should a NiCad battery be reconditioned, and how many discharge charge cycles does this take? A battery should be reconditioned by performing 3 discharge charge cycles every 3 months. Is it necessary to begin a reconditioning procedure and a shelf life test with a fully charged battery? Yes, charging a battery before discharging is essential. The only exception is a step during the shelf life test. And finally, what's the benefit of performing the shelf life test? The shelf life test helps identify a battery with an excessive self-discharge rate. This concludes our in-service video on the care and maintenance of the NiCad battery and battery support system. We hope you found it informative. Remember, this in-service video provides only an overview, so you must familiarize yourself with the operating instructions manual for complete details. If you need additional information on NiCad maintenance or other related subjects, please contact your local sales or service representative, or call Physio Control at 1-800-442-1142 and ask for technical support. Thank you for choosing Physio Control.